There's no room! It's just like Godzilla, really. There's no room. He's so big. He takes up so much room.
Today on Tracey's Basement, we're showing off our Godzilla collection.
He's the king of the monsters!
Welcome back to the basement. Welcome to the channel if you've never been here before. Today we are showing off our Godzilla collection. Just a few items.
Woo! Got my Godzilla shirt on. So, pretty big Godzilla fans in this house. Got a humble little Godzilla collection here. It is pretty humble compared to some of the Godzilla collections I've seen. Some people with some amazing Godzilla collections out there.
That is a good point. But we do have quite a few items ourselves. Yeah. So we're going to show them off today. We actually did a poll in Basement Geeks on Facebook.
You made me set up a poll asking what collection thing we should do next, because you wanted me to pick out something that was more my stuff. More my stuff.
I still love it all, but more geared
towards you. So I gave 4 options. Yeah, obviously they were all split because we share everything in the collection, but yeah, Godzilla came out on top in that poll. So today, because I've been very bad for opening these, actually, I started building them up and they kept getting buried in the backlog and stuff. So finally, gonna unbox my entire Godzilla collection today. The things that aren't unboxed anyway.
So we have a ton of stuff to open.
Yeah.
Ton of stuff from different companies and everything. But first, before we get into some stuff, Adriana is actually a big fan of Godzilla.
Adriana's a huge Godzilla fan. She got super excited at the after credits scene of Kong when she heard Godzilla's roar. She looked at me when I let her watch it with me. She was like, "Was that Godzilla?" And I said, "Yup." And he's gonna fight King Kong. And she was like, "That's awesome!"
So freaking adorable. And she has a couple of her own collectibles. They're toys, technically, but she refuses to give them to Jason.
Yeah, so
because she loves Godzilla so much.
First, let's let Adriana just show you guys a couple of her additions to the Godzilla collection that are from the 2014 movie. And then we'll get into unboxing this stuff. So, I guess I gotta record and find some way to splice this in here, so take it away, Adriana!
This is Godzilla and Mudo, and Mudo has like the red stripes on him and the open mouth. So does Godzilla has an open mouth and a bunch of spikes on him and some yellow eyes. This is my turning Godzilla. He turns a lot and he has movable arms and his mouth also moves. And of course the spikes again. And here is my really big Godzilla. And he's really cool. And I like to get Daddy with this part that's really cool. And he can open his mouth as well. And a bunch of... These spikes are a lot bigger since he's a bigger Godzilla.
That was Adriana with her little additions to the collection.
Even though I do let her come down and reorganize and move stuff around in our collections all the time, because I'm not like one of those collectors that's like, you have to keep your kid away from all the collection stuff, because that's how your kids end up resenting your collecting. But I get her involved and she loves it, and that's why she's this super cute, cool, fun little geek, and she loves going and finding stuff for the collection with us, and yeah, you just can't beat that kind of bond. It's just so great. But
let's get into our additions.
And this we picked up in Maine. This is by KidRobot, and look at this.
He's so cute.
So this guy is super cute. He's obviously a grumpy little chibi Godzilla, and what's funny about this is I picked this up and I put this in the cart. And when I caught back up with Tracey, it was in Toys R Us in Maine, and I said, "Look at this, isn't this cool?" Tracey looked at me, and she said, "Oh yeah, that's really cute, I really like that, but don't you think Adriana has enough plushies already?" And I said, "Who the hell said anything about Adriana? I want this!" Even though I'm not a big plush guy.
But it's Godzilla.
It's Godzilla. And honestly, I am going to give it to Adriana. It's just, it was funny at the time, and I did want it. It's super, super cute, so.
You guys will share it.
Yeah, it's super cute. Alright. The next thing we wanted to show off, we've shown this off before because we unboxed that.
Yeah, but this is a Godzilla tree decoration that was sent to us in the box that Nick sent us, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, super cool.
We had to show it again because it's amazing.
Super cool gift. Loved getting that from Nick. That's one of my favorite things that was in that entire box of retro stuff. That was super cool.
It's just unexpected and amazing.
It's got the city, it's got the Godzilla logo, it's crushing, and it wobbles around on the tree. Like, that's just really awesome right there. We've got a mystery mini, me and Adri. Adri?
Who's Adri?
I'm losing my voice already in this video, and we have a metric ton of stuff to go. Me and Adriana found this just loose. We picked up this and a couple monsters. So this is a Funko Mystery Mini of Godzilla from the Sci-Fi box.
And he's really well done, actually.
He is.
The Mystery Mini horror guys are pretty well done.
Some of the Mystery Minis out there are well done. They impressed me for what they are. I still think Mystery Minis are overpriced for what they are. But, yeah, some of the Mystery Minis are really well done. A lot of Mystery Minis are blah. Blah. Meh. They're just like these...
Just depends on the franchise. And
boring human things. People are just buying stuff now because it has a license on it, not because it's any good. So, but he is excellently well done. He's got, of course, his Godzilla spikes and tail, of course, and the growl.
Bright white eyes.
We're probably going to bring up a million times through all of these figures. But yeah, me and Adriana picked that up. We saw it, we liked it. It was loose, so it was cheap. So we grabbed that. So next, let's do the Funko Pops. Let's get these out of the way before we get into the detailed figures.
You guys may have seen this one on the channel before, but it was quite a while ago, so you would have had to have been around the channel for a while. This is the base Godzilla Funko Pop.
Yeah. Did we show this guy on the channel? I can't even remember.
I'm pretty sure we did ages ago.
I know we did him on Pops and Shots, and I'm pretty sure he might even... If you guys saw our Pops and Shots live feed from ages and ages and ages ago on Facebook Live, which we are never doing again, mind you, he had... I invented a Godzilla shot on the spot, and I lit it on fire, and then I went to blow it out, and it splashed everywhere, so I think he still has some of the green liquor and stuff on him.
Poor Godzilla.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he is super cute. Definitely wanted him when we found out they were making him, because it's Godzilla, first of all.
Yeah.
And they did a half-decent job, too.
Collect your fandoms, not brands.
Yeah. He's super cute with the big long tail and the spikes and everything. I mean... You almost can't go wrong with Godzilla. It's hard to make a bad-looking Godzilla.
At the same time, though, you say that, but it looks like he got lipstick on him.
I'll admit that, yeah. He looks a bit like he's wearing lipstick, the way they designed his mouth.
Yeah. I like to call that lipstick Godzilla.
But he's super cute.
Yeah, but look at how bright red they made his lips. Now, I still like it, because, like I said, it's Godzilla, and it's kind of chibi-fied and cute, and it's actually well made and not generic for a Funko Pop, like so many of them look.
He's unique. He's got a good design.
It's still that Joker lipstick, man. Look at him. He looks like he's ready to give you a big kiss. Eh?
I'm not quite sure what they were thinking with that paint,
but this one improves on it a little bit because it doesn't have the lipstick. And this one is the Atomic Breath Godzilla. This is a previews exclusive. And this one glows in the dark.
Yeah, I really like this one because of the blue. The nice kind of translucent blue all down the spikes and his claws and everything. His teeth, his eyes, and that all glows in the dark, which is just super cool because Atomic Blast Godzilla in general, super cool.
You know me, I'm a sucker for anything that glows in the dark, and it's like he's about to blow his blue atomic breath out. Now, like I said, and I said this a million times, because I'm over the hype. I don't fall for the hype and the addiction marketing anymore, and I'm getting very, very tired of Funko popping out 17 variants of every single mold they make. I do like the fact that it glows in the dark, though. I would like a little bit different to it. But
that would be nice if the pose was a little bit different or something. You know,
but honestly,
doing something.
That's just Funko burnout. Yeah, exactly. Which a lot of people are feeling right now, and people think there's like all this hate going on in the community. It's a bandwagon collectible. When it starts coming into its second half of its lifespan, that's when people start getting tired of it. Exactly. Just if you still like it, just buy it.
Yeah.
What's the problem with people not liking it? You know what I mean?
It should not affect your enjoyment of your collectibles in any way.
No. I've got a joke to say about this guy too. So, but this is Burning Godzilla. So this is Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. This is 1995. This is the movie where Godzilla actually dies. Like, this is the death of Godzilla, the 90s Godzilla. No more 90s Godzilla until they rebooted the franchise again in Godzilla 2000.
Godzilla always comes back.
So I love this. He's red in all of the spots. Doesn't have the lipstick. That's another thing I really, really love.
It looks a lot better.
Doesn't have the lipstick. He's all red because of the nuclear, inside him. It's becoming unstable, and it's busting out through kind of his skin, his layers and stuff like that. But the choice of painting on this is that's what makes it really funny, because Funko it's cheaply made, it's slapped on, right? They kind of made it look like a bikini. So I'm gonna start calling him Nuclear Bikini Godzilla. Okay? Did you notice that?
I didn't notice it until you mentioned this.
It does. He's a Bikini Godzilla. Look. Like,
oh, wow.
Of the choices of how they could have applied this paint, it looks like he's got, there's the chest, and there's the bottom, the bikini bottoms. He looks like Bikini Godzilla. So,
wow.
The fact that he...
Things you can't unsee.
Yeah. Now it's ruined for you, eh?
Yes.
I still love it, though. It's darker than the other ones, and I got the red eyes. You're still laughing at the bikini, eh? It's Bikini Godzilla. You know what? I'm moving...
We've got Bikini Godzilla and Lipstick Godzilla.
We're never gonna get this done if we keep laughing at Bikini Godzilla, so I'll move on.
Moving along.
Okay, so I've got a bunch of here. This is not really important to the collection. I just want to show these off, but I found these at the flea market the other day, and I got the whole series for $10. It's Godzilla in Hell. So just another cool thing to read. So
very pretty artwork in that too.
Very pretty artwork. Just a few comics I found for $10, but not really part of the figure collection that we're showing off today. We've got Bandai stuff over there and NECA stuff down here, and we're just drowning in stuff. So let's go with the Bandai stuff right now, okay?
Go with the Bandai. So we've got the two smaller ones, and we've got one large. Shall we go large or the two small?
Well, we're gonna start with the smaller ones, of course. Yeah. Come on.
I'll put this one
Common sense. Come on. How do we always do things? Jeez, what's the point of even asking?
And you will notice that one of them is not actually Godzilla.
Nope, but of course I'm going to include it because it's Mothra, who has a quite important role in a lot of the Godzilla movies, and of course has their own franchise stuff, because I love our Toho monsters. So let's get these guys out. First, show off Mothra to everybody.
So these are the Bandai series. It's a kind of an older series now. I think we've had these for a little while.
These are the Fusion series.
Yeah, and Mothra is just awesome. Look at the wings. They did a great job on all the coloring, and it really looks like a bug. Like, if you stuck him to a wall, people might actually think it was a giant moth. And I love the little eyes, and he's got, like, the little pincer hands coming around. Just an awesome paint job. The one thing is that there's nowhere on him, like, to make him stand or hang or anything like that.
That was my one hesitance about taking him out of the box here, was because now I have to figure out a way to hang him on the shelf with the rest of the Godzilla stuff, because I'm not going to leave him like that.
Yeah, no,
that's kind of boring. And you'll barely be able to see him. I kind of want to have him flying down over Godzilla or something like that.
Yeah,
but
nice if he came with some kind of little plastic stand.
I don't care. It's Mothra, and really funny story. Adriana doesn't get too emotional at movies. She's like me. A lot of, occasionally a movie will get her, but she doesn't get very emotional in movies. But I let her sit down and watch one of the Mothra movies. It might have been the first one.
I think so.
The 90s Mothra movies. And there's a point in the movie where Mothra dies before the new Mothra is born. It's called Rebirth of Mothra. And Adriana bawled her eyes out. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, I've never seen a kid get so emotional over a rubber-suited monster. But
she was very sad about
She was extremely sad. It was adorable seeing her, I mean, as mean as that sounds, seeing her cry over a rubber-suited monster, but, I mean, come on.
Absolutely. It was adorable.
It was cute.
We had to comfort her.
Alright, so this one is, Millennium Godzilla. And
also from the Fusion series.
Yeah, this is from the Fusion series. This is from Godzilla 2000, and it's like a special one because this one is kind of translucent. Not too translucent. It might be hard to show up on camera actually how translucent it is, but it is translucent.
I like to think of him as sparkly crystal Godzilla.
Yes. Very sparkly.
It is very sparkly. There's a lot of sparkles in the vinyl or the rubber, whatever it's made out of.
A lot of glitter.
And with the translucent, the light like shines through him, and it shines through all of his spikes are like a nice dark purple.
Yeah.
So it shines through the purple and just kind of lights up. If you could get a light kind of underneath him on your display, it would look really, really pretty.
Very, very, very cool. It's not my favorite Godzilla, but I think it is, like, for a soft vinyl figure, because it is a soft vinyl, it's squishy.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's a very, very cool looking figure, very pretty. Bandai stuff in general I tend to like. They don't do a lot of wrong in my eyes. They always give you
good.
They always give you quality for your buck. And like I said, for a soft, squishy figure, I think this is great. I think the shades of purple with the translucent, absolutely fantastic.
He's one of my favorites. I love the purple.
Alright, you're going to show off the big guy?
Here's the big guy. Also from the same series. And he is kind of similar in mold to this guy, just bigger. And obviously with the usual paint job.
Woo!
So he's his usual dark grayish black. And with the white on the scales all going down. He's got his tail all flipped up and everything, and he's just looking real threatening with the big roaring, with the claws out and everything. He's an awesome figure, again with the soft vinyl, but there's lots of detail, like they did a good job on the mold with all the scales and everything.
This one's soft, but it's not squishy like this one.
Yeah,
this one is
a
a stiffer, he's a harder plastic. And this, so I know you are not entirely familiar with how Godzilla looks in every movie, but me and Adriana, we are, and
I haven't watched them all quite as often.
Yeah, we have just a knowledge of where it comes from. This is Godzilla from Final Wars. This was the final Godzilla movie ending out the 2000 series in Japan, so it was the final Godzilla movie for a while until Shin Godzilla came along. And if you're a fan of kaiju movies, and you have, or Godzilla movies in general, and you haven't seen Final Wars, you gotta go see Final Wars. It is cheesy, and Godzilla fights everybody. He literally, it's like Godzilla comes back and he kicks the crap out of like every monster he's ever faced. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's over the top. I love it.
Big old cheesy fun.
It's basically just Godzilla versus everyone. It's a battle royale, and there's like alien people coming down trying to take over the world, resurrecting the monster. It's so ridiculous and over the top. You have to see it. So I'm super, super happy to have especially one this large, a Godzilla Final Wars piece in the collection. That's just super cool.
Okay, so we're getting to the point now where we're getting buried in Godzillas.
So
let's move these out of the way, and we'll get into the second half of the collection.
Okay, let's move on to some NECA stuff with one of my favorites in the collection. Because you guys know, if you follow me a long time or you talk to me in Basement Geeks or on social media, you know how much I love the NECA 8-bits.
Yes,
and
the 8-bit collection is so much fun, especially if you grew up with the video games. And they do a great job with like making it look like bits and everything.
Yeah, so this is the 8-bit Godzilla.
This is also one of the few lines where we actually use packaging in our display, because they do a great job on the boxes with like scenes from the games and everything.
Now we don't show it like this because that's just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But we do, like, imagine just having an open figure and having it sit there like that with the big plastic part there like that. I don't know, that seems kind of ugly and tacky to me. But these boxes I do incorporate into display, and I kind of display them on an angle with the figure in front of them like this, and then I have the rest of my 8-bits going across. But yeah, that actually, come to think of it, I don't have this in this video, because I'm not digging it out now that we've started filming. I actually have the Godzilla Nintendo game, too.
Oh yeah, we do,
because I was working on, I haven't done it yet because I don't have them all, but if I can, I'm working on trying to have like the Nintendo games to go with the boxes. With these figures, kind of for the display purposes. But I think I'm going to quit that idea because I picked up an Atari Texas Chainsaw Massacre one, and there's no way I'm ever affording the Atari Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That is rare, and that is expensive.
Yeah,
so
forget about that right
giving
now.
Giving up on that goal once I bought that Leatherface. So, but we
do have the Godzilla And the 8-bit figures are amazing, so of course he had to have Godzilla.
Of course.
Of course.
I think you got me this guy, actually.
I did. I picked him up for you a couple of years ago, and he's awesome. Look at him, he's all blue and pixelized, just like the video game. I love it so much.
Yeah.
I love all of the 8-bit stuff. Jason started collecting it, and I was like, yep, have them all, because they're just the coolest freaking thing, especially, like I say, if you grew up with the video games.
And most of them are kind of just like recolorings to match the 8-bit style. But this guy actually has the bits, the 8 bits all over him. Like, he actually has pixelated squares,
I love it.
Painted onto his dorsal fins. He's got, actually the eyes are pretty... Oh yeah, and his mouth opens. I forgot to mention that. But his mouth opens so you can breathe his blast. And of course, in the game, he just jumps like this. Like, his legs don't move at all around. If you've never played the game, go play it. It's so bad, it's wonderful. Actually, I think Angry Video Game Nerd from years back does an episode on the Godzilla game. So go watch that. It's absolutely hilarious. If you've never heard of Angry Video Game Nerd, it's a highly recommended show on YouTube that I recommend you watch. But yeah, this is perfect. I love it. I can't spend too much more time on that because we got so much to go through. So what do you say we do them in order from, like, oldest Godzilla to newest Godzilla, since
good.
We've got quite a few NECA figures here to show you guys.
Got a lot of NECAs.
So, and of course, this is a little tip I showed off earlier. A lot of you collectors may know this about the clamshell packaging, longtime collectors, but if you don't, just an extra little tip. If you're the kind of person who likes to display out of the box, but you like to keep the clamshell just in case you run out of room and you need to display it on the wall. If you watched my video before on the Aliens, the Bubblegum Sour Blue Raspberry Aliens by NECA, if you put the slice just along the inside like that, you can flip the lid up.
Peel it open.
And you can kind of just take the figure out the back. Of course, I'm trying to explain it at the same time, so I'm getting stuck here. But you just, flip it up, pull the figure out, and then you've got the best of both worlds. So, just a little tip if you need to use that. And this is where the cuts come in because of the twist ties. I hate clamshells and I hate twist ties, but I love NECA figures. So it's a curse. It's a curse that you just gotta deal with. It's part of the game. It's part of the game.
So this is the original Godzilla from 1954. Just amazing from back in the day. The really, really old, just sad looking rubber suit.
Sad looking. That suit looked amazing in 1954. It didn't get sad looking until the 70s.
I'll give you that, yeah.
So.
It probably looked amazing at the time.
That was just so disrespectful to the history of movies there. That movie launched a franchise that's endured for 60 plus years now. Come on now.
They actually did a good job of making it look like the rubber suit, though. It's got, like, the big wrinkles in, like, around his arms and his belly paunch and everything. Like, you can see where the rubber would have been gathering as the actor was moving.
Yep,
it's awesome.
They do like to be screen accurate. NECA does as much as they can while still being affordable.
Yeah.
Of course, he's got lots of head swivel and arm swivel move, and it's not tight. It's not stiff. It's very, very nicely loose. Of course.
As articulate as Godzilla ever could be.
Yeah.
That's how articulate
it's about as articulate
is.
as the rubber suit could be. Yeah. There. Screen accurate articulation.
There you go.
But, yeah, this is super cool. So, like you said, 1954, this is from Gojira, which in 1956 was released to America with all those extra cuts put in with the American actor. It's kind of like, if you watch it now, knowing that he wasn't actually on the set and just cut in, it's very, very obvious.
Yeah, very obvious.
But I'm assuming in 1956 it wasn't so obvious with the way movies were, but this guy's great.
He is. I love the eyes, too. He's got those old school Godzilla eyes that almost look like human eyes. It's
googly eyes.
Yeah, they're googly.
They're not human eyes, they're googly eyes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
he's great.
And of course he's all black and white.
Of course.
Just like the classic movie. So, very, very cool addition to the collection. And let's see, which one am I going for next here? That one's newer, that one's newer, that one's 90s, and that one. So I guess we're moving on to the 90s.
That was quick.
And, well, we got the classic, and I don't know if NECA makes really a lot of, like, 60s or 70s Godzillas, really. I mean, granted, 90s Godzilla is my favorite Godzilla anyway, and my absolute favorite looking Godzilla is usually a toss-up, but I usually pick one of the most underrated Godzilla movies. If you're a Godzilla fan out there, you might know this movie, but one of the most underrated Godzilla movies is 1989's Godzilla vs. Biollante. It was... Now, the start of the 90s Godzilla phase kind of started in 85 with the Godzilla reboot from the 70s, but it didn't really kick off until that one in 89. That's why they call him 90s Godzilla. Most of the movies were in the 90s. And he does kind of get bigger and reborn again in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in the 90s. But this is from 1995, which we discussed with the Funko Pop. This is Burning Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Destoroyah.
I love it when you say that.
It's not Destroyer, it's Destoroyah. See? Destoroyah. Destoroyah. So, this guy is super, super cool. Again, like we said before, this is the death of Godzilla. This is Godzilla before he dies. Yep. So, let's take a look at this. Did you know in Japan they actually ran like an obituary and everything when Godzilla died? Because he was such an important part of the culture. It's really cool. Come on, Godzilla is very important. He's badass. So, Godzilla is the man. You don't get called, with the amount of kaiju they have over there, you don't get called the king of monsters for nothing.
This one might make the box geeks cringe a little bit, because he's actually going for fairly decent money.
He does go for pretty good money. Godzilla stuff and the NECA stuff does tend to hold value fairly well, even loose though, so that's not so bad.
We have to give a big props to our buddy Ross, who picked this up for us when he was out shopping.
Yeah.
He found it for us a little while ago.
Yeah, he gave me a message and said, is there anything here you would like? And I saw this, and he was like, yeah, no problem. So he picked it up for me while he was away out of the province. So thank you very much, Ross, because I really, 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 really love this.
He's really cool looking. He's got kind of a, not really translucent, but just that kind of shine where it almost looks like he could glow from within. You know what I mean? I don't really know what to say about it.
It is translucent. It is because you can kind of look at it close and see the other side of the leg. Yeah. So it is, I would say it is kind of translucent.
It's almost translucent and a little bit frosted at the same time.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it. Frosted to describe the color of fire.
But yeah, he does look like if he had a light in him, he would really, really glow.
He would really glow.
He's got that kind of material to him. And he's, of course, got the burning. It doesn't look as much like a bikini on this one.
No, this one is much more well done, obviously. NECA does take great care with their Godzilla molds.
They really do. And his spines, of course, also have that yellowish, orangish glow all around the outer edges of them. He's
got to have his very cool fins, and like I said, this is before Godzilla dies, so all the nuclear is building up inside him before he kind of just basically self-destructs himself, really.
Yeah.
I guess that's the only way I can describe it. He doesn't blow up, really, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's a meltdown kind of.
I don't know. It's a very... If you were a Godzilla fan and you grew up with Godzilla right from the 50s, it actually was kind of a touching moment. So, not so much for people who just go back and watch for the cheese factor now, but I could see a lot of people who grew up with Godzilla, you know, really appreciating that moment on film. It's actually quite a good moment where he dies. But yeah, that is super cool. It is the standard NECA 90s Godzilla mold, just with the repaint on it. So, very, very cool. Super happy to have that in the collection, especially because I know he goes for really good money now. So, and I know some people are probably mad that I opened him, but now that I've opened him, it's over, so he's not getting sold, and that means he's mine. He's mine forever. I'm not getting rid of him because he's open. Also, speaking of glow, figured we show this guy off next, since he's basically the same mold. But this one is getting mentioned because I just got this from a Loot Vault order. And the reason this one is getting shown off with such ferocity is because Johnny Tellez got this in a Loot Crate DX box way, way, way back. And I was just jealous. And Johnny rubbed it in. He rubbed it in forever.
He really did.
So, ages later, it showed up on the Loot Vault for like 15 minutes. And I said, I'm getting it. I'm here at the right time. I'm grabbing this guy, and I got him, and he managed to make it to the cart, because sometimes they pull stuff out of your order because, whatchamacallit, they end up selling out faster than their system can keep track.
It sells out on you.
Yeah.
Luckily, we got in there fast.
So.
And we got him. We were so excited when he finally showed up to the door, because sometimes, you know, you worry. Yeah, the order went through, but is it actually going to show up? Yeah,
because there's some stuff from that order that didn't show up. But yeah, I was super happy. I was so happy when I got this. I messaged Johnny Tejas right away and put a post in Basement Geeks and told him to suck it, because I now have this and he can't rub it in my face anymore, because this is... We went with the standard box that month because the DX is really expensive to get into Canada. And I really, really wanted this because it glows in the freaking dark!
Anything that glows in the dark.
That's what Johnny would say. It glows in the freaking dark! You like that? That's my Johnny Tejas voice. Do you like that?
Look at that!
Is it cool? Is it cool? How cool is that? I can't get his tail on, though. Give me a second to get his tail on, okay? Oh my god, that tail was already... I got like a sweat on trying to get that tail on, because that ball joint that it sits on was just so... It like just was not the right size. I was like... I thought I was going to look like this by the end of it, eh?
I can confirm that you made that noise.
At least that guy, because I was getting orange. I was getting like oranger than my hoodie. I was getting all red in the face and everything. But how cool is that?
So like Jason said, same mold as the Burning Godzilla, but he is all in the glowing nuclear reactor green.
This has nothing to do with the movies. This is just cool.
It's just cool.
I just wanted it because it's cool. Like, it's glow in the dark. It's a Godzilla toy. Adriana is going to freaking love this guy. She is going to flip out. That guy
loves glow in the dark just as much as you.
Yeah, that guy's just too cool. I wanted him. I don't care if it has anything to do with the movies whatsoever. I just wanted a super cool glow in the dark Godzilla.
And look, if you put them together, they're kind of like Christmas Godzilla.
You think? You think? So they're going out for Christmas, are they? I'm cool with that!
Next we have Godzilla 2001.
And 2001, Atomic Blast. He's got Atomic Blast action. Shoot fire at your friends. Godzilla roars. Oh, that'd be a toy commercial from the old days.
It would be.
Except he doesn't do any of those things. He just looks really, really cool.
So here is the regular one. And I mean... Godzilla 2001, not my favorite version of Godzilla, but he is still Godzilla, so he is amazing.
You probably don't even know the movie he's from. He's from the one that's in 2001.
Clearly.
Huh? I'll let you know, but you can continue describing him for a second, because I missed a twist tie on this guy, and so I'm going to have to cut that.
So this is kind of I find him like a chubbier version of Godzilla. He looks like he's got enormous thighs compared to the rest of them.
If you had to hold up all that girth, you'd have enormous thighs too.
Granted. And he does have enormous feet compared to the rest of them. Maybe the original has fairly big feet, but compared to all the other ones, he's got these gigantic feet with enormous claws. And his scales are a little bit different. His face, I find chubbier. Like, he's almost got like these big jawbones. And he looks kind of extra angry.
He looks
they gave him
evil
these wicked
and possessed.
eyebrows. Yeah, he looks very, very evil. And even when you open his mouth, like, the teeth are just more vicious somehow. He looks like he's gonna rip into your throat.
The reason for that, I can't get these stupid tails on. I hate when the ball joints are too small. That's one thing. I love NECA stuff, but their attachment joints on hands and stuff like that, I find they do them too tight sometimes, that they're not exact, like they're machined too exact.
Yeah, exactly.
That sometimes it makes it too difficult to actually get the stuff on. But again, like I said, I love the stuff though. Once you get it on, it's not going anywhere. But there's the Atomic Blast one. That's just too cool. The reason that he looks so evil and like that is because this Godzilla is from the movie This is like the longest title of a Godzilla movie. But Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack.
There you go.
That's the title of the movie. Like, it's not a short title of the movie. And it's Godzilla is back, and he's wreaking havoc And in this movie, Mothra has usually always been a good character in the Toho movies. But in this movie, King Ghidorah is actually the good monster fighting Godzilla. They're like, it's a complete made-up retelling story.
Yeah,
they're like
straight out of left
legendary.
field.
Yeah, a lot of the 2000 ones don't have continuity. They're like all their own self-contained stories. King Ghidorah, who is like Godzilla's best nemesis, he's actually a good guy in that movie, and him and Mothra and Baragon are all legendary creatures that are brought back to fight and stop Godzilla. But it's not called Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, and Baragon Giant Monsters All in Attack because just screw Baragon, I guess.
Know,
Poor Baragon.
He just got thrown out in the trash.
Baragon, you are not important enough, you stupid-looking floppy-eared dog creature of a Toho monster. Poor Baragon gets no love. Yeah, I'm telling you. But this guy comes with the Atomic Blast. And let me see how I can slide this in here. I don't know how it connects. Where is the hole?
The same mold, of course, but he's got like the blue paint kind of across his face and across his chest and a little bit on his hands and everything, so that he looks like the light of the atomic blast is shining back at him, kind of thing.
I can't find the slot that this is supposed to go in, though. It's got like a kind of a flat slot there, but I cannot find the slot to attach it. So I don't exactly know how it goes in here.
Looks to me like it would go the
Oh,
other
there we go. I got
there
it.
we go.
I got it. It's a little tilted, actually. So I guess you're supposed to kind of tilt him a bit. But this guy's got the blue shading, of course, the light blue shading, like where he's blasting it, where this guy is just, your standard Godzilla colors. And he's got the light blue shading down the front to show that he's blasting. It's like the reflection of the light and all along the face.
Yeah, he's all lit up by his own attack.
That is a super cool addition. The only thing is, if you display him without his atomic breath, it looks kind of stupid.
Yeah, I'll
so,
give you that.
So the whole point of this guy is to display him with his breath. If you don't have the breath, then it's going to look weird on the shelf. But with the breath, it's an absolutely fantastic looking Godzilla figure. Look at that blue shine on it. That's very, very cool. And we're moving on to the last one, Tracy, and this is the one we watched just recently. This is another reborn Godzilla. So I don't know if they're going to continue with this series or what. I don't know what's going on with this. But this was Shin Godzilla. So this is from the newest movie that came out. We watched not that long ago.
And it was enjoyable.
I highly enjoyed it. I had my problems with it. Now, geez, that's really loud. Let me pull this guy out first, okay? This guy's tail ball joint was super thick, because that is one beefy freaking tail, man.
He's got a really thick tail.
Yeah. So, this is Shin Godzilla. And like I said with the movie, I had, my flaws with the movie, but most Godzilla fans seem to enjoy it. And plus, Godzilla was back. Like,
exactly.
Anytime Godzilla's back, I'm happy. Though it sucks, I somehow managed to enjoy how bad the 1998 Godzilla American movie was. Even though it wasn't really Godzilla, though. And honestly, I can't say I really like it, but I just enjoy how bad it is because it's a big lizard in a city.
This Shin Godzilla has another different kind of a body style. He's fat in the legs, but he's got these like kind of skinny T-Rex kind of arms.
Yeah.
And he's got a much longer and thicker tail all the way down, and with this weird little swirl at the end. lots of articulation.
It's got like
three
different ball joints on the tail where you can adjust it. Maybe 4. I can't really. That might be another one.
3, yeah, I see 4.
That's another one, but it's that one's really stiff, so that one doesn't go as much. But yeah, holy! Like, look at that tail. That tail makes this figure. That's crazy.
He has a really cool, vicious look to him as well, because he's got the sharp little claws, and his mouth, like, opens further. Like, he's got a really, really wide mouth, and lots and lots of sharp little pointy teeth.
You can actually spread his mouth really wide, because what he does in the movie, this Godzilla, he unlocks his, like, jaw, kind of, and his like, the side part of his face.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, it kind of stretches, and it makes for one really scary. Like, this is a more terrifying Godzilla. This Godzilla is meant to be scary looking. He's got all the, between all the folds of his skin and the texture stuff, he's got all this kind of red burning look to him. Very, very different from the classic Godzillas of the past. All his dorsal fins are sharp and spiky.
He's very, very spiky compared to the other ones. Very sharp, muscly and like creepy looking. He looks more like a monster in the horrific sense.
Yeah, he's definitely the king of monsters, and
all the red gives him kind of a bloody look.
As much as people loved the movie where it kind of showed the evolution of Godzilla coming on land and evolving from a little thing, I had issues. I love Godzilla, but it was so fast and it happened so fast. And like he looked really stupid as like that turkey-looking thing running with his face along the ground. And I know I got the point of putting it in the movie, and I had fun. I had fun watching it, but I was just like, what the heck is this little turkey bird Godzilla that just came out of the water? You know what I mean? It was, I don't know, that was dumb looking to me.
Yeah, I was confused for a little while.
But I think this is probably the most recent NECA Godzilla figure. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me because I didn't keep up on it. But I think this is a fantastic mold they put on this.
They did a great job.
The end tail's got these weird little orange bits on it. I don't really remember from the movie, so maybe that's not accurate or not. I don't really remember. But just the mold itself and the massive tail that you can play with in different directions on all these ball joints, that is really, really cool. I just had a hiccup internally. Oops, excuse me. This is atomic breath. That's my atomic breath. That came out of nowhere. That's all that coffee I've been drinking this morning. Look at me, I'm wound up. Woo! You made me do a long video. I had to get wound up.
That's true.
Woo! Alright, I've got one more Godzilla thing here to show off. Because this was a pickup from Tracey for Christmas. This was a surprise under the tree, so I was super excited to get into this. This is the Bandai Tamashii Nations MonsterArts Godzilla. And this is, which year did it say? 1964, the emergence of Godzilla. So this is a 60s Godzilla, which you don't see the 60s molds very often.
Not very often. We just mentioned that.
At least with NECA, or like more of the toy companies you see in stores that we have access to over here. Maybe online, picking up like imports and stuff like that, you might see more 60s stuff, but as far as just figures you find in stores go, I don't see a lot of the 60s and 70s Godzilla. No. Except for, like, you know, Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
You see some Mecha Godzilla stuff, which isn't Godzilla. He's another Toho monster. So, we're just going to slide these guys over here so I have room to dive into this guy. And he's all taped up, so got to break out just Shredder. Oh no, the tape is unbroken. I forgot, because I slid the plastic out to take a picture for Instagram. So... oh, look at I'm all messed up. I'm all messed up. You got me all excited. I finally opened my Godzilla toys.
He's all hyper now. He's gonna be playing all afternoon.
Just take the mic from me, Trace, or I'll keep talking. Just take the mic from me, okay? Take the mic.
So I will give a little bit of a thanks to Derek the Border Geek.
Again?
This was in the same shipment with the Mega Man that he helped me get over the border. This was, again, on an excellent sale, and I saw it. It was Godzilla, and it's MonsterArts, which are always amazing, and so I said, cool. I have to get it. I have to get it for Jason.
What's the best thing about this guy? No twist ties.
Yes.
No twist ties in the package. It was all just in plastic. So this is him. Now, he's a lot smaller than NECA stuff, even though the prices of MonsterArts and Figure Arts are usually more expensive because they are imported. But these are highly, highly, highly articulate and very, very, very detailed.
Yeah, as articulate as you could make a Godzilla.
Woo!
MonsterArts will get those articulation points in there.
Look at the tail.
He's got a wavy tail.
Every single part. See this? I'm going to show you guys this. This, twist point. 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 Twist point, twist point, twist point, twist point, twist point. That's how many articulation points are on the tail. The only thing is, this ball joint on his leg is a little flaky, so I'm going to have to play with that a little bit. That's a little loose, but once I get him in position, he's not going to go anywhere. But check this out. I mentioned the tail, articulation points, articulation point, articulation point, articulation point, articulation, articulation, articulation. 3 articulation over there, more on this arm. The neck, articulation. The head, articulation. The jaw opens and closes. This is all, and the whole top torso, articulation. That's like 7,020,000 points of articulation. Like, that is a lot of articulation for a Godzilla figure. So
basically, in comparison to most Godzilla figures that you will get, this one is going to be one of the easiest ones to get into a nice pose.
Yes. Now,
Lots of
how much pose you're worried about with a Godzilla figure, I don't know, because it's mostly...
Yeah.
But, yeah, the amount of articulation on this guy is amazing. And this is 1964, so this is the 60s suits. And obviously, it's very dull colored, very faded. That's intentional, of course, because these were the older movies. 1964, trying to remember which movie 1964 was now. There's so many to go back to.
You can't remember everything.
I know. I feel like I'm kicking myself now. I think this might be before the Ebera sea monster ones, and it's definitely before the Smog monster. I think that one's 70s. That's where stuff gets really cheesy. Yeah. But yeah, so this is the 60s ones. That's why you get such kind of dull colors.
The suit was getting a little bit more impressive, though. You don't have as many of those big clunky folds as he's moving around, so he's a little bit smoother. A little bit smoother. Still looks like a giant rubber monster suit. His eyes, now, it's small. It's small, so you have to get in there to really see them. But his eyes are fantastic. They've got like a gloss over them with the black underneath them, so it almost looks like those glass plastic eyes that they would put in the suits. Very, very cool. He comes with this atomic blast, which is white, so it's pretty old. Yeah, it's the old school atomic blast.
I'm going to see how this attaches in here, because I've been having trouble with these lately. But, no, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. I don't find that a lot of these are showing clear pegs where they're supposed to go. In fact, I don't even see a hole that you're supposed to connect this into. So I don't know if he's just supposed to kind of stand on it like that.
Maybe.
I don't know if you guys can see that in the video. But
it's kind of hard to see anyway because it would be in his mouth if there was a slot.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, there is no connecting hole for this thing, and there's no peg on the end of this thing. So I'm assuming you're just supposed to balance like that, which that's kind of a fault, I would say.
It's kind of a cop-out.
I would rather not have to balance it. I'd rather have a peg to put in there to kind of help steady it. But like I said, once you get it on the shelf, it's not really going anywhere, and it does have lots of room in the mouth to put a good chunk of the end of the atomic blast. So it's not like it's a deal breaker or anything like that by a long stretch. But it would be nice if it had some kind of connection or peg hole in there just to kind of hold it more. Yeah, you know what I mean? Exactly. In case you bump the shelf or something.
If you wanted to aim it a little bit.
Yeah, if you wanted to aim it a little bit over, although you still got a little bit of play. Because, as I said, it's all balanced. But, yeah, a peg hole would be nice. But still, an absolutely fantastic figure. Usually pricey. That ball joint, man. That ball joint. I'm going to have to work on that ball joint. Yeah, a little bit pricey. MonsterArts and FigureArts stuff does tend to be a little bit pricey.
Yeah,
so,
but I did get it on a really good sale.
Often with that stuff. Occasionally I'll buy it full price if I really, really, really love it. Often with FigureArts and MonsterArts, I will try to find sales. Because they are imports and they do run a little high. Yeah. But they are high-end figures. They are, big boy collectibles. So they are for collectors of fandoms. They are highly articulated. They are highly posable.
Beautifully painted, beautifully molded.
They are worth every dollar. FigureArts are. I don't have a lot of MonsterArts to really say that about, but yeah. I don't know. There's nothing else I can say, really. I'm just dragging this video on now.
FigureArts are great.
So they're great. They're great. Bandai does awesome stuff. So Bandai FigureArts stuff like that, a little bit more money, but worth every penny for the massive amount of articulation and posability you can get on their figures.
So that was our massive Godzilla collection. Maybe not so massive to some, but massive to us.
Pretty good. It's pretty alright. I'm glad to finally have it open so I can start my Godzilla shelf.
Exactly. I'm not going to grab everything else from the first batch and put it back up here because then we would be covered again and you wouldn't be able to hear us. There's too much of it. But you can let us know in the comment section what your favorites were and all that kind of thing. Can you pick a favorite?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just locked up.
I'm gonna take that as a no.
I buy it all because I like it. So, and I mean, a lot of them are really similar, right? So choosing between them. But honestly, just because of memories of my youth, I'm going to pick 8-Bit Godzilla. I'm gonna go with Nintendo Godzilla, and I like how he displays with the box behind him. So my pick is going to be 8-bit Godzilla.
It's a good pick.
Who's yours?
I don't know. There's so many of them. Right now, standing in front of me, I really like the glow-in-the-dark green one.
Which is the one that's like not from any movie.
Yeah,
it's just
I know.
super cool.
It's ridiculous, but yeah, it's just super cool. So
there's the big, huge Final Wars one down there if you want to grab it.
that's true. He's pretty awesome. He is the biggest one in the collection.
Yeah.
I will say he is pretty awesome, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the one that isn't part of a movie, just to be difficult.
Just to be difficult. Just to be difficult. I'm okay with that. I don't mind difficult.
Of course, let us know what your favorite is in the comment section below. Let us know what you thought of all these Godzillas and Adriana's Godzillas and the little ones and the plush ones and everything. Let us know what you thought of this ridiculousness in the comment section below.
I just love Godzilla.
If you've enjoyed the video, guys, please give us a big thumbs up, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat at Tracey's Basement, Jason from TB on Twitter, and of course, as always, guys, keep coming back for more Tracey's Basement.
Roar! See, I knew if I tilted him back, that was gonna fall. I knew it.